Hello everyone, this is Adam Dubbin here with SaveFloridaWatersNow.org, and this is my show, Florida Waters Weekly. This is a show where we run down on the various news and events that happen here in the state of Florida in regards to our water and our environment as a whole. So if you give me a moment here to just get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a link here. So this is a link that goes to my website, and what I've done is I've put all the links and all of the relevant information that I'm going to be talking about tonight. It's all going to be up in here. So what I've done is kind of simplified things, so you can click on this, open this in a different page, and have that side by side as I'm sitting here and going through it. So first thing I want to bring attention to, and since I'm using the forward camera on my iPhone, it's just going to look backwards, but I'm wearing a shirt here that if read forward would say, "Support Senator Negron's plan, now or Neverglades." And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a little bit, but I wanted to show my flair from this week, and like I said, we'll get to that in just a bit. So first things first, so remember I'm going to keep my eye on the comments, and hold on. I think I wasn't public before, but I am public now, so let's see if that changes anything. If I don't see any viewers populating, I may have to start this over. So 1 second here. Let's see if people can see this. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Give me 1 second while I check this out. Okay, there we go. So I see some people picking up here. So let me get started here. First thing I want to do, so we open up the link, Save Florida Waters Weekly, January 13th, 2017. Okay, first story I've got here is lawmakers grill the Department of Environmental Protection over water pollution limits. So we open this up, and so the members of the Senate Committee on Environmental Preservation and Conservation grilled Department of Environmental Protection brass this past Tuesday, on its handling of controversial new water pollution limits. The DEP in May proposed to update human health criteria for 43 chemical compounds that are allowed in Florida's rivers, lakes, and estuaries, and create new limits for 39 others. Under the proposal, limits would become less stringent for roughly half the compounds on the books, and more stringent for the rest. So I remember this story from back then, and so it looks like there's a bit of a hand-wringing over it. So the DEP initially said that it would take the proposal to State Environmental Regulation Commission for approval in the fall, but moved the meeting to up to July. So what we got here is there's still some discussion about these chemicals, these industrial pollutants that they want to add to our water. So what it boils down to, it alleges the DEP failed to comply with Clean Water Act requirements on multiple occasions while revisiting its limits, or revising its limits. The DEP didn't give at least 45 days notice before the July hearing and failed to submit its proposal to the EPA within 30 days of the plan's approval, the lawsuit says. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are missing here. It's one of those things that kind of looks like, you know, a legislation, regulation, or deregulation that's being pushed through to make it easier for businesses to, you know, to dump their chemicals, to use more industrially harmful, environmentally harmful chemicals. So that's one thing that we saw happen this week. Another thing, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit, it's going to be kind of heavy on the Sable Trail today. Seminole Nation rises against Sable Trail pipeline. So I touched on this last week. I mentioned that I gave like a breaking news bit about the camps forming up in North Florida. And so this actually is a follow-up to that. The multi-million-dollar fracked gas pipeline being built through the Florida Springs has finally gotten some attention in the media in the last weeks as activists have demonstrated their opposition all across Florida. Now the fight has reached a whole new level with the announcement that the Seminole Nation will build 4 indigenous-led camps in the Levy, Marion, Citrus, and Alachua counties of North Florida. So this is taking on what we had talked about before. The announcement comes after a month of some native leaders calling people to action against the corporate project. Billy C. Billy, a member of the Council of the Miccosukee Seminole Nation of Central Florida, has been an outspoken critic of Sabal Trail since its inception. Last summer, the WWALS Watershed Commission reported that Billy stated his opposition to the pipeline in the simplest terms. We can survive without the money and the Sabal Trail pipeline, but we cannot survive without clean air, clean water, and nature. So, again, this is linked in the page that I have linked at the top of this video, so you can find all of these there. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. Crowd unites in Florida to protest a controversial Sabal Trail. Okay, so this one is actually, this was published in AccuWeather, and I helped contribute to it. Ms. Chafin Mitchell reached out to me and asked me to answer some questions in interview form, and I gave her a concise answer, and she used what I gave her to write this article. So it's a good article. It covers a lot of things. It's general, which is okay. It's very accessible. As with everything on the internet, you may not want to read the comments, but it's good to see that this word is getting out. And people are. This is mainstream media. This is all over the United States, and it's picked up by several other media outlets. So that is good. So what I have next is protesters launch environmental war to stop pipeline. So this was News 4 in Jacksonville. So what we have here, they say an environmental war, which is, you know, that is an appropriate name for it, is brewing in North Florida. Protesters are worried that the Sabal Trail pipeline, which will run through North Florida into Central Florida, will cause an environmental disaster and contaminate the state's drinking water. It's absolutely correct. So News 4 Jax walked the woods along the Swanee River in Live Oak, where protesters have set up camp in hopes of halting further construction on the pipeline. Josh Birmingham, friend of ours, we don't need it, we definitely don't need it, he was quoted in saying. All right, so this is, you can read on, you've got the link in there. This is another example, though, of the Sabal Trail pipeline getting into the mainstream media. So it's good to see this type of stuff. Okay, so I have here this next one, Rivers Against Sabal Trail in Live Oak. So this is continuing this, but this is more grassroots here. So this is OurSantaFeRiver.org, what they posted. And it's basically Swanee River keeper John Quarterman brought together a great group of people who presented the latest information on Sabal Trail and the struggle to shut it down. Many speakers were present, and the meeting went like clockwork, thanks to the great planning and the stern but gracious watchful eye of Gretchen Quarterman. So there's some good pictures in here, and it's great to hear that we're able to get people together and that we're able to talk and, you know, make these things happen and bring our minds together and do this both in a peaceful and intellectual manner. So it's very encouraging to see. Okay, so some other news. We have a new camp. So I talked earlier about the 4 camps up in North Florida. Well, we actually have one opening up in Central Florida. The exact location is still to be announced. But Ronald Reedy has been working tirelessly for months on end, and it appears that his hard work is finally coming to fruition. So I'm really happy for him. I talked with him recently, and so just stay tuned for what happens with that. The link to the Facebook site is in my webpage. So again, if you're just tuning in, at the top is the link where my video is. You'll see it says Save Florida Waters Now, Florida Waters Weekly, and a URL there. If you click on that, that'll take you to a list of everything that I'm discussing. And so you can keep up with me, or you can come back and check and see what I was talking about. Okay, this next one, Collier County Waterkeeper is looking for boat donations. So if you have any boats, old boats that you want to get rid of, I mean, you know, they say that some boat owners, 2 best days are the day they buy their boat and the day they sell it. Well, maybe you would feel even better if you donated it to a great cause. So they say that your contributions go directly to the clean water efforts, right? And a tax credit is given to you depending on the value of the vessel. So, you know, this is this is as good of a cause as I can think of for donating a boat if you happen to have one. And I imagine they're willing to take everything from, John boats up to, the appropriate watercraft. I don't think a ski boat would be appropriate, but who knows? Maybe they can retrofit. But check it out. You've got the link in there, and see what's going on with that if you'd like to get interested. Last thing I'm going to mention here, this is a great resource I actually just stumbled upon as I was doing some last minute research for the show. And it's called Florida Water Daily, and it's a daily digest for every day. And this thing's great, and I'll probably be drawing a lot from it going forward. But I kind of want to introduce it to everybody so that you don't have to wait for Friday for me to get in front of you to keep up with what's going on. You can actually come to this website and see this information they have. So they have headlines. So they've got major news networks and other forms of media that are linked here. They have editorials, op-eds, and columns. So opinion. They have public agendas for water-related items. And they also have journal articles, theses, and technical reports. So this is kind of the whole gamut here. They have a lot of data and a lot of information on a daily basis to keep us informed. So I'm going to lean kind of heavily on this, but let me really quick just tell you what we have in here. So Hernando County Commission balks at new utility fee, Tampa Bay Times. Volunteers needed for LMS task force stormwater management review, Gulf Breeze News. Water main break affecting mobile home park, Bradenton Herald. County to award environmentalist, Tampa Bay Times. So you can see these are some pretty local news events, but nonetheless, water managers take step to deliver more fresh water to South Florida bays, Miami Herald. So there's some good stuff in here. The editorials, what they have in here is Apalachicola Riverkeeper, decades-old water war must be resolved. This actually looks like a great article to follow up on what we were discussing last week. The last two episodes of this show, I've mentioned the Apalachicola water war issue, and so this guy has one here. And Floridians working for a solution to the state's decades-long water dispute with Georgia are dismayed by Georgia's recent move to block a bipartisan weather bill in Congress. The worm continues to turn with that. So if you come to this FloridaWaterDaily.com, you'll be able to find this stuff. One of the journal theses here, let's see, Sustainability, Volume 9, pages 105, The Green Experiment, Cities, Green Stormwater, Infrastructure, and Sustainability. So that looks like a pretty cool topic. So again, this is something that if you want to keep up with current events on a daily basis, you can lean on that. So I'm going to take a moment here to see, we don't have any comments here. So what I am going to do is move along. But thank you all who are out there watching. What I'm going to move on to next is my weekly observations. So this week I had the opportunity to get out and do some things and see some things. And among those things, I went to Tallahassee. Dylan Hansen and I, we both went up on Tuesday. Along the way, we got to see the Sable Trail pipeline where all the green is growing back out of the earth, where they've already covered it up alongside of the turnpike. So that was, I heard a little bit. We got to Tallahassee, and on a Wednesday morning, we covered the subcommittee hearing, the Senate subcommittee hearing, on Senator Negron's plan to send the water south. So just to give you a basic background on what's happening here. So Lake Okeechobee has become a geoengineered bowl, for lack of a better word. And there are high dams and dikes that surround the lake that actually kind of hold it in, sort of like a moat type of thing. And so what it is it's a water storage for all the agriculture for the region. And they have target, levels that they aim for. But one of the problems is that they have, a blue-green algae issue, which stems from overnutrition. And when I say overnutrition, I'm talking about pollution in the form of phosphates and nitrites. So, and what happens is they have to regulate the water in the lake. And if when they send the water down their geoengineered paths, if there's too much water in the lake, then they have to let the water out to the east and west down the Caloosahatchee and the St. Lucie. The Caloosahatchee isn't actually naturally connected to Lake Okeechobee. It has a canal that connects the two. So what happens then is you get all this stagnant algae water flowing into these estuaries, and these estuaries are they're very fragile. These estuaries are also very important areas of commerce, areas of recreation. They are parts of the local landscape that people come to Florida for. Whether they come to Florida to pay to have fishing guides take them out, or they come to Florida to eat our seafood, or whether they're people who live here who go out for recreation. People who come here to surf, kite surf, anything that deals with the water. So what was happening is in recent years, they've been seeing, especially this past year, they've been seeing these releases go out and foul the waters for everybody. And so it was a bad deal, and it's something that needs to be worked on. And so Senator Negron has this plan to help facilitate the movement of the water from the lake itself down south instead of outwards. And what they're doing is they're looking at buying land to store the water southward as they kind of work it and kind of percolate it through the Everglades. Now, mind you, the Everglades are a natural filtering system for the most part. They can take a lot of they can take some water that has algae and extra nutrient. Not too much though, but it is a natural cleaning area, much like any wetland. And so the result of not having enough water flowing through there is actually seen in the Keys, where Florida Bay is not being replenished appropriately, and the basic chemistry of Florida Bay, because it's sort of protected by the Key Islands, the barrier islands from the Atlantic, and it has that fresh water coming through. It has a different level of salinity, and there's other aspects of the water that the water coming from the Everglades affects. So again, people who fish, or people who do it commercially or recreationally. And there's so many things that we do in this state that is based on water, based on clean water, especially down there, that it's important that we do this. So my observation was that the reports that were given by the scientists were a little they were very revealing. They told us a lot. The Army Corps of Engineers talked, and the South Florida Water Management District talked, and they had really good things to say. And it was a great experience, first of all, to be there in that chamber and to listen to them and see the process undergoing. And so we don't have an answer. I mean, it was a 2-hour meeting where they basically gave their testimony. Didn't actually get to all of the people that we wanted to have talk. The individuals who were directly affected. However, Dylan Hansen did a great job interviewing many of them. So next week you can look forward to seeing some interviews of the people who were there for the Now or Never Glades effort. So that was a great experience. We don't know exactly where this is going to go yet, but we had a good showing out there, and we're going to keep pushing it. So support Now or Never Glades, sign the petition. All right, so now that I've got that over with, one last thing is, if you would like to watch the Senate Subcommittee hearing on Lake Okeechobee and the Everglades, under videos here on my link here, it says it says Senate Subcommittee hearing. I click on that, and that will take you to the YouTube of the video, so you can watch that. All right, let me take a look here and see anything as far as comments are concerned. I don't know if nobody's commenting or if, because I'm using a different method today than before to do this. So I apologize if you're commenting out there and I can't see it, but we'll see what we can do here. I see one comment, Jan Norton, so thank you, Jan. Or Jan, I apologize if I mispronounced that. So, back to what we were doing. So, the Sable Trail and the Southeast Connection Pipeline. So, one area that I got to see this week of the Sable Trail was up next to the Water is Life camp, and that's on the Santa Fe. And that camp is, I mean, that site is done. They have already put the dirt back over. Excuse me. They have pulled out all their equipment. It's pretty much, it's over. I mean, it's not pretty much, it's over with there. So having been there through many of the stages, for most all of the stages, it was sort of a sad sight. It was not kind of the closure that we were looking for. So let's see. Okay, gotcha. So that's really all that I got to see this week of the Sable Trail. Dylan Hansen is actually up in camp now, and he's doing a lot of coverage for that. So this coming week, there will be a lot of media coming out regarding what's happening up there. And there's also an event I'm going to talk to you about in just a bit. But what I want to talk to you about is the Southeast Connection pipelines. Now, this one in particular, I have had an opportunity to see in depth today. So Katie Wolferman, one of our Orlando Central Florida water protectors, she was in contact with some people who told us that the pipeline was being built near some phosphate mines, near some, some somewhat sensitive areas, and we decided to go out this morning. So Katie and I went out. Basically, where we were was we took highway US 27, the highway that you hear a lot, and we took that south to. Well, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and open up this map so I can kind of do this with you. So if you can follow me. So we went down to Lake Wales, and outside of Lake Wales. So there's a our target was the FSC field office. And that's at 1615 Burns Ave in Lake Wales. And we eventually made our way to it. When we did get there, it's basically this, it's a staging area type thing, and there were many, 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 many trucks there. I mean, we got a report that there were like 200 trucks there, and we thought that was hyperbole. But in fact, no, it was extremely crowded. It's all set up so that you can't really see anything that's going on. But that was our target area. What we did, though, is we also went to many other sites around. And so what I have here in the link that I provided, so again, if you're just tuning in, the video itself, there's a link embedded in it. And if you click on that, that will give you the page that has all of the links that I am talking about. So you'll see that there's a series of, under video, where it says Southeast Connection and the region. So I just want to summarize what I saw today, what we saw today, and that is that the pipeline there, not having any frame of reference, not knowing where they were a week ago or a week or two ago, appears to be moving pretty well. The status was pretty homogeneous for all of the areas that we saw. They were all like in the process of being welded, still up on their pallets. And no trenches dug, nothing had really been put in except for a lot of the horizontal drilling under roads had already been done. In fact, I don't think a single one was not done. So they had gotten ahead with those. But they were all at right about the same point as far as progress. We saw a lot of workers out there today. We also saw some areas where there weren't too many workers. Mind you, we did drive around during the lunch hour. So it's possible that, some of them were not present as we passed by at that time. So what we did see was that, this Southeast Connection is moving along. It's moving through orange groves, which is rural. You think, well, no big deal, but this is, this is our landscape. This is our state. But they also went through residential areas. But mind you, these residential areas were, low income, rural, out there. It was an interesting experience seeing it out there. I approached several people and talked to them about the pipeline and what their opinion was. One I actually approached while I was Facebook Living, and the gentleman had nothing to say, and so I'm not going to probe. There was a couple other people I spoke with off camera who didn't have much to say. Then at the end, I managed to get my car stuck in some soft sand, so good going, Adam. And so in the process, I had to go ask for some help from the locals. And so one of them nearby, so I was where we were going. We were trying to get into an orange grove to see the pipeline come through. It was going through the back of their property, and they ended up pulling us out. Very nice of them. I really appreciate that. If you're out there listening, which you probably aren't, but so what they told me was that it wasn't eminent domain. It was a mutual agreement that they sold the land to the pipeline for them to use. So there was no animosity. They seemed pretty happy with the deal. They told me, the wife told me that the land was given to the husband by his family, that he lived on it since he was 5, and that he didn't have a problem with it. So, one of the things I'm aiming to do here is to, be honest and be truthful and get facts out. So there are people out there who, I don't know if it's that they don't understand the pipeline. To be honest with you, at the time I was imperiled and I was not in a position to preach to them, if that's the way you want to put it. But they seemed okay with the deal, so I can't disrespect that. So there are people out there who don't have that big of a problem with it, and maybe the money that they got helped them pay off some debt. Who knows what the trade-off was. So there is another side to the coin, and I got to see it today, which is a great experience. And I cherish being able to see stuff like that. So all in all, the Southeast pipeline is well underway, and we don't, we're way behind here, especially with Ronald Reedy, as I mentioned earlier, only now, getting started with that camp. So we'll see how that goes. So I want to double check now, and not getting a lot of comments today, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. But if you're out there and you want to leave want to ask a question or say something, feel free to. So let me do something real quick here, and then we'll move on to the next. Move on to the next topic. All right, so sorry about that pause. Dead air time is awful. All right, so I want to talk about current events, or events that are coming up. These first couple ones are actually going to be current. So right now happening down in Stewart is the River Warrior meeting, What's Next, and movie night at the River Warrior Lodge. So this is the Bull Sugar folks and the other folks down there getting together and talking about stuff and watching a movie. So it's always nice to see this type of community stuff going on here. Other one is Water's Journey, a film screening. So this is happening right now as I speak in our Santa Fe River, and that's in Fort White, Florida. And what they're doing is they're showing this film. And here's the description. The journey into the unknown begins. There is absolutely no margin for error. Water's Journey, the hidden rivers of Florida, featuring the works of adventurers explorers Wes Skiles, Jill Heinrich, Tom Morris Friday. And January 13th at 7 p.m. at Room 138. Okay, so that's going on right now. So that should be pretty cool. I just wanted to let you know what was happening, even though you're probably not going to be able to get there now. And then, so what we got going on is, West Palm Beach in solidarity to stop Sable Trail Pipeline from crossing the Suwannee River on January 14th, so that's tomorrow, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is at the Publix parking lot, the southwest corner of Jog and Forest Hill Boulevard, West Palm Beach, Florida. Okay, so this is, if you're in the West Palm Beach area and you'd like to stand in solidarity with the Sable Trail Pipeline, this is your opportunity. So here is the description. So stand in solidarity with water protectors that are gathering in a mass civil disobedience at the Suwannee River State Park on the same date to stop the Suwannee River crossing by Sable Trail Pipeline, now owned by Enbridge of DAPL. The civil disobedience action has been organized to stop Sable Trail Pipeline from drilling under the Suwannee River and through the Floridan Aquifer, the sole source of water for millions of people. Suwannee County has hundreds of springs which are windows to this aquifer. The area is also a major recharge-discharge zone for the Floridan aquifer. So, all right, so West Palm Beach, stand in solidarity with Sable, and that is the Publix parking lot, southwest corner of Jog and Forest Hill Boulevard, West Palm Beach, Florida. Okay, so the next one is the Sable Trail Pipeline Paddle, protest paddle. So this is tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Suwannee River State Park. And what's going on here is, all right, so see marker map for Facebook on Facebook posts. So if you go to the website that I provided for you to click on that, you'll find the link to that. Meet at 10:30 a.m. to deposit boats at CR County Road 141 ramp. The boats will be watched by a WWALS volunteer. Then there'll be a shuttle set up for you, and all of this information is provided here for you. And they even have GPS coordinates here. So again, if you go to the Facebook event that I have, that I put on the website page that I've posted to the top of this video, you'll be able to see that. Okay, then next is the Suwannee campsites to State Park against Sable Trail. So this is tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is at 7744 Southwest 46th Ave, Jasper, Florida, 32052. The Suwannee Riverkeeper, so that's John Quarterman, invites you on a brief paddle down the Suwannee River from County Road 141 ramp. So he says last time we paddled, they had the 6 o'clock news. This may or may not be a duplicate to what I just mentioned. So it looks like they may have two different events for this. Nonetheless, if you want to get out and do that, I strongly encourage that. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about, this is the big one. So this is the mass civil disobedience to stop the Suwannee River crossing. And this is happening January 14th to January 15th, tomorrow and Sunday. They are staying at Suwannee River State Park, and that's 3631 201st Path, Live Oak, Florida 32060. And the details are, join us in putting a wrench into the gears of this pipeline machine. This will be a mass sit-in to stop the Sable Trail frac gas pipeline construction from drilling under the Suwannee River near Live Oak, Florida. Updated schedule. So they've got a long schedule. They've got a schedule here, and I'll leave it to you to get onto the website. It's actually, there's a lot of information here under the details. So if you go to the Facebook event, you will find pretty much everything you need to know. Just so you know, the action is being put on, endorsed by the Water is Life Camp. And that is at 846 Northwest 120th Trail, Branford, Florida. And they also have a link here to the Water is Life excuse me, Facebook page. Okay, so one thing I wanted to throw out there, and this isn't really water related, so to speak, but it is it's something that I'm interested in, is nature, and that is Introduction to Plant Identification. And this is going to be at tomorrow from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Brooker Creek Preserve Environmental Education Center. And this is in Tarpon Springs, Florida, 3940 Keystone Road, Tarpon Springs, Florida, 34688. So, if this is something that you might be interested in, I mean, it says here, join James Stevenson, your local extension specialist, and examine the basic plant identification from using simple keys to identify critical characteristics that will help any would-be botanist in the field. An emphasis will be placed on flowering plants, but ferns will also be included as well. Registration is required and all materials will be provided. Wear comfortable shoes as the class will be outdoors. So that sounds pretty cool. I got to, study a lot of this in undergrad as I studied botany along with my classical studies degree. And, this is it's a great field to be interested in. Plants are fascinating organisms. Also noted here that Pinellas County complies with the Americans with Disabilities Act. So if you have any disabilities that need to be accommodated, be sure to get in touch with them. You are entitled to it at no cost, and so they have a contact here for you to reach out to them if that happens to be the case for you. Okay, all right, so back to the Sable Trail stuff. Miami in solidarity with water protectors in Swanee River. So again, with the mass civil disobedience event going on, people are also looking to show their solidarity in the states around or the cities around the state. So Miami is doing this at 7275 Collins Ave, Miami Beach, Florida 33141. So right there on Miami Beach, where they have their own water issues too, thanks to radical climate change. So the details are, if you cannot make it to the mass civil disobedience to stop Swanee River crossing, come and show support. We will march from the park at 73rd and Collins to a Wells Fargo nearby, and that would give us the opportunity to close some accounts, raise awareness, and stand in solidarity with the water protectors fighting for clean water. So it looks like they've got everything figured out here. They're going to get together, they're going to get their voices heard, they're going to go defund, and then they are going to show their solidarity. So folks in Miami Beach, I look forward to seeing your live feeds. I look forward to seeing your solidarity down there. Okay, so a little bit different here. So we've got a water supply plant joint at the Swanee Rivers St. John's Water Management District. So we've got a demonstration and protest at 10 a.m. This is going to be in Alachua. So this is 15100 Northwest 142nd Terrace, Alachua, Florida 32615. And so the details are a demonstration and press conference at 10 a.m., a joint Swanee River Water Management District, St. John's River Water Management District board at 11 a.m. Without further public meetings or response to those who wrote in, the management districts plan to approve the North Florida Regional Water Plan Supply. Let me give one more shot to that, folks. The North Florida Regional Water Supply Plan as the only item on the agenda. So WWALS never got a response to their letter about that, so they're looking to push the issue here. Finally, a week before the planned approval, commenters were told that their responses were in an updated Appendix A. Those responses, however, were inadequate. So he actually, Mr. Quarterman, does a good job listing everything here. At the risk of tongue-tying myself further, I'll leave this here for you all to read. So again, water supply plan at Joint Swanee St. John's Water Management District meeting here. Okay, and so here's another one that we've got coming up. Public workshop and second reading of moratorium extension ordinance. This is going to be on January 17th, a Tuesday. Thanks to Eric Thomas, we have learned of the public notice put in the newspaper that the Union County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public workshop on the 17th at 5:30 p.m., followed at 6 o'clock by a board meeting, which will treat the ordinance extending the mining moratorium until February 15, 2018. So what they're dealing with here is, they're trying to stop some mines that are going up in North Florida, in Union County, and to be specific. So if you're in that area, you'll want to pay attention to that. And I want to go back really quick. The water supply plan, that particular meeting is also on January 17th. I forgot to mention that. Now, all those other things that I mentioned were all on Saturday, tomorrow. Okay, so another thing I want to mention here is Water is Life movement, Beyond Standing Rock. So on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., I will be on a live stream show with Jim Graywolf Petrosi and many others. There'll be people represented from Texas and Flint that will be talking about our water issues together and discussing how we can join in solidarity as Americans, as human beings, as people struggling in the efforts for clean water. What we can do to help each other, and also to share our experiences so that we understand that we're not alone in dealing with what we're dealing with here. So again, that's the Water is Life movement Beyond Standing Rock link I have here. Tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. And if you follow me, you will be able to catch a link to that. Okay, so on Friday, this Friday, so not today, but the Friday coming after this one, there is a statewide bank exit. Orlando's Wells Fargo is one of them that I have here, and that's going to be at 20 North Orange Avenue in Orlando, Florida, 32801. And so what they're going to be doing is getting out and defunding. Get your money out of the big banks, get it into a credit union, or get it into a local bank. I've mentioned before. I mean, I haven't had a major bank in 5 years. I use 2 credit unions, and they're both great. I get great credit through them, and I also the rates are good, and I don't get nickel and dimed for BS. I mean, I got when I got a credit union, I never turned back. I've never even thought about going back to banks again. So that's something you'll want to do. So we've got the Orlando one. We've got one here. This one is Gainesville. Okay, so on Friday, January 20th, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So this is all day. 104 North Main Street is the location they have here, 32601. And what is listed here is listed also on the other site. So it has a list of action items. 1, visit waterprotectoralliance.org. Okay, so I will throw that out. Visit waterprotectoralliance.org and get involved, find out what's going on. And then, go to this event and check out all of these things, this checklist that you'll want to look into. Okay, and then there was one more, and let me see if I can find it for you. I'm not seeing it on my list here, and I'll go back and correct this. Okay, so there's Orlando, Gainesville. I guess actually there was duplicates for the Gainesville one. So that concludes the events portion. So let me take a look here, and thank you, Chrissy. We're warm here. I wish we could send you some of our warmth. Hey, Michael, half my audience is in the camps getting ready for the weekend activities, and that's perfectly fine. This will be recorded, and they can get back to it. If people are out and doing things and not watching what I'm saying, what they're doing is a lot better than what I'm doing. So that makes me happy, actually. That's really good news. Hey, Pam, great to hear you. Great to see you again. And yes, and Cindy just mentioned here, so I was talking about defunding, taking your money out of the bank. When you do it, let them know why you're taking your money out of the bank. So tell them that you don't approve of their investments. Tell them that, clean water is important to you, clean environment is important to you, and the investment portfolio of the bank, of the institution, is something that is of concern if they are not going to be, in line with progressive issues, moving forward, especially when it comes to clean water. Let them know, and, all the videos and all the interviews and all the people I've talked to who have gone through this process tell me that, their experience with the banker is, it's never negative. The banker obviously doesn't want to lose your account, but they can't stop you from doing it. And if you tell them why, it just could make a difference. They operate on a bottom line like every other company. So when they stop losing your dollars, they stop losing profit, and that's where the ball starts rolling for these institutions. So thanks, Cindy, for reminding me of that. That's a great point. Okay, so what I want to mention now is I just want to mention a couple things that I did this past week as far as outreach. So I've got here Standing Rock and Beyond Water is Life. So what this was I was on Ohm Times Radio with, let's see, hold on one second. I've got it played here. So this is last Sunday. Jim Grayworth Petruzzi and I, we got on this show to talk with her. And so the peaceful rainbow warriors prophesied by our ancestors have stepped into their power and are making the world become aware of what is destroying our planet ecologically, and future generations will be non-existent if we do not stop now. So we talked, let me finish what it says here. This is not political stance. Standing Rock Camp. It's just the voices of those who care. People all over the world are lending their support. Time for all to be heard, to protect the children of the world that is occurring, and specifically to discuss the facts of the movement and how it can be supported by all. So we went on here and we talked with Ayala and Ayala Frisch, and we kind of just discussed a lot of the aspects of the Water is Life movement and what it means, practically and spiritually, and philosophically as well. So it was a good opportunity to sort of get out there and talk about the movement. I also talked on a radio show on Monday, based out of Europe, called the Red Pill Hardcore Radio Show, and it was an anarchist show, where there's some people who are, this person, he goes by V, and he keeps his identity mostly anonymous, and he uses the visage of the Guy Fawkes mask as his avatar. He was a cool guy. He was an interesting guy to be interviewed by. He was definitely different than what I'm used to. So I'm used to people more like Alaya. But he had a lot of questions that I was happy to answer, and he brought up a lot of interesting topics, a lot of controversial topics. And I never shy away from the controversial stuff, but I will be careful of what I say because I don't want to venture into something I don't know. I certainly don't want to overstep my bounds. So when it does get up, I'll be happy to link it. I'm just waiting for them to send it to me, and then you all can give it a listen. It was an interesting show, and I actually plan on going back on his show to talk about more environmental stuff. Okay, so let's see. Lee Hogan in Tennessee. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Lee. I appreciate it. And so let's see. So what I have down here, some videos. So I've got the Senate subcommittee hearing on Lake Okeechobee and the Everglades. That is a YouTube video that it's basically just the raw camera work that I did, recording from the back of the room. And so it's 2 hours long. It's it's very informative. If you really want to hear like what the scientists are saying and what the Water Management District is saying and what the Army Corps is saying, this is a great opportunity to really get into that. But it's dry. It's nothing exciting about it. You just kind of have to get through it. So, but it's there. That is a resource for anybody who wants to know what's going on with the support of Negron's bill in the Senate subcommittee. Then I have then there's a bunch of live videos from this week. So I have the Now or Never Everglades in Tallahassee, Florida, live feed where I got everybody in front of the fountain and we were shouting. It was a very, very fun clip. And then under that, you'll see all of the live clips that I have from today's excursion with Katie Wolferman, who, again, I want to thank for, she's the one who arranged this. She's the one who planned it out. I basically just drove out there and, wielded a camera and got my car stuck. So I want to thank her for everything she did today. And, it was great work, great planning, and this is what collaboration and working together brings. So I encourage everybody out there, if you know people local to you who are also involved in this movement, get in touch with each other, talk to each other, go out with each other, be buddies. It's a lot easier to get out and do these things, documenting, whatever it is that you want to do in pairs or in threes. Doing it alone is no fun. So thank you, Katie, for taking me out today. Okay, so all that's there for you. A couple other announcements I want to make before I leave here today. First of all, next Friday, I will be joining Greg Smithwick and Corey Cottrell over in Pasco County. You've heard me mention them before, and they've been over here to Central Florida to check out the pipeline. They are debuting their new joint show over there. So they're both my buddies. They're both guys that I have a lot of respect for and who have been very supportive of me and also very helpful, helping me navigate some of the technical aspects of broadcasting. So I'm going to be going over to Pasco County and sitting in with them. They say I only have 15 minutes to a half an hour, but I'm going to lobby for a little more. It's a 2-hour drive each way, so I've got to make it worthwhile. But stay tuned to my page, and I will be sharing links to that so that you can join in as well. And you can be sure that I will be talking about clean water. I'll be talking about clean environment. I'll be talking about all the good stuff that I always do. So keep an eye out for that. That's next Friday. So and then after that, I'll be coming back. Or maybe I'll be broadcasting my Florida Waters Weekly from there. We'll see. That may be a surprise. We'll go with that, though. Okay, and then the last thing I want to say is sign the Now or Neverglades petition. You just got to do it. Do it. No excuses. If you have not done it yet, the link is here. Sign the Now or Neverglades petition. Please. All right, and then the one thing actually I realized I missed, John Heim is still doing his thing down on Southwest Florida. on the bridge. And so I thought I had a link here for that, but I don't, so I'll be sure to add that to here. But through until the 15th, so through the end of this weekend, he's going to be protesting and demanding that the city does water tests and provides the results to the citizens. So what he's doing, what he's asking for is not too much. So if you want to go out there and support him, he's out there looking for your support. So John, I support you from here, and hopefully you can accomplish what you need to. So last but not least, I want to thank everybody who went up to Tallahassee for the subcommittee meeting. There were many people up there. My buddy Dave Preston went up, and I got to see him for the first time in a long time. Got to meet a lot of really interesting people, and including a pastor. So let me go ahead and put this little bit in there. So one of the people who were up in at the Capitol with us was a pastor from an African American community who he had a bad water problem. It was very similar to Flint, and he said with the local waters that he didn't have any clean waters that he could baptize his congregation with, and so that was kind of a powerful moment. Hearing something like that here's somebody who wants to engage in their spirituality and can't because the water is too dirty. And that just goes to show you how important water is, both physically and spiritually, psychologically, religiously. So that was interesting. So you'll want to thank you everybody for being up there. Thank you for everybody who got up and was interviewed by Dylan Hansen. Thank you everybody else who was up there taking pictures. Thank you everybody who just made the effort to do something about the problem. And again, thank you to everybody who's watching me, who are out doing the things. Thank you, Ronald Reedy, for getting your camp set up. Thank you, Cindy and Mike, for doing what you're doing up at the Waters Life Camp. Without you two, what's happening this weekend, this mass civil disobedience would not be possible. This thank you list, really, now that I think about it, I could just keep going on and on. Pete Ackerman for keeping that camp up there going. Dylan Hansen for going with me up to Tallahassee and helping out with the media coverage there. Like I said, I could just go on forever. So if I didn't mention you, please know that I am very appreciative of you, and you all have my undying support. So I think that's all I've got for this week. As somebody said, most of my audience is probably out at the camp, and that's okay. They can always come back and watch this. But I appreciate you all tuning in. And so this is the fourth one. I've got a month of these under my belt, and we'll move forward, making this better. So this is Adam Dubbin, SaveFloridaWatersNow.org, and this is Florida Waters Weekly, checking out.